each and every morning, they beat the sun to work. I am a Florida farmer. They are proud people with every right to feel proud. Their rich grasslands give Florida's fresh products a taste all their own. Florida families have worked the land for centuries, and their children will carry it forward. We are Florida farmers. The harvest is bountiful. Their fruits and vegetables go to markets throughout the state and far beyond. I am a Florida farmer. Generation following generation, they had the land, they had the will. What they didn't always have was a voice. So many changes have happened since Florida's Farm Bureau first began over 75 years ago, uniting farmers to give them that voice and a strategy to protect their livelihood and our future. That small group of citrus growers knew what was needed to keep food on our tables. Now we're 145,000 voices strong, and our voice is clearly heard in fields, in markets, and the halls of power alike. In good times or bad, we've stood up to protect all that is best about the noble calling that is farming. We are much more than insurance, much more than that small group of citrus growers. And sometimes we aren't farmers at all, but we share a love of family, community, hard work, and the land that sustains us. We give our members a voice, a way to come together to make things better. And our collective voice is being heard outside of our own community. Florida Farm Bureau is there for you. And while the cost to join has been small, our voice has grown stronger, clearer, and more resilient than ever before. I am a Florida Farm supporter. Listen to our voices. We are all Florida farmers, bonded together by a passion for the land, producing precious foods while working tirelessly to replenish the environment. We still have much to do and much to say. Voices, voices of hard work, pride, tradition, progress, love of land. All of these different strands come together through the Florida Farm Bureau. I am a Florida farmer. Together, we are the voice of Florida agriculture.
It's deeper than I thought and darker down below. It's colder in the silence of the shade I didn't know. It's lonely in the moment, so don't leave me alone. I'm slowly drifting, sinking, drowning when I need to grow. And it's hard to breathe when the air's knocked out of me. So who can help me get back home? Oh, I gotta sit and talk to myself to find what I really need.
I am a Florida farmer.
I'm a Florida rancher.
I grow food for my family and yours every day.
I do it because I love it.
Just like my parents and grandparents before me.
Long before Florida was known for its beaches and theme parks.
The state was founded on agriculture.
It's the tradition my family proudly carries on today.
I care for the land and the environment.
To leave it better for the next generation.
After all, my children play on it every day.
I face the same challenges all farmers face.
Pests, disease, and bad weather.
It's part of the job.
But today, producing food for our community is harder than ever.
I have to deal with unfair trade practices, misinformation, and burdensome regulations.
I want to continue farming.
And ranching.
To grow healthy food for your family and mine.
Just like the generations before me.
I want to continue to be the caretaker of God's garden.
In these changing times, I need help doing this.
That's why I joined Farm Bureau.
Farm Bureau helps me continue my family's tradition in agriculture.
To make my voice heard by consumers and lawmakers.
To make Florida's local communities stronger.
And to ensure our children are educated about where our food comes from.
Farm Bureau works to ensure the next generation of Floridians are positive, innovative community leaders.
The type we can all be proud of.
Farm Bureau helps to preserve the land for future generations.
Through the promotion of new farming practices, technology, research, and education.
These are just a few reasons why I joined as a member.
More than 30 years ago, I was working to continue my family's fern operation, and I got involved in Farm Bureau for the same reasons that you just heard. Today, as president of Florida Farm Bureau, I still feel just as passionate about making sure that the tradition and values are carried in Florida's future. In these changing times, I'm committed as ever to making sure Florida Farm Bureau is on the front lines fighting for our farmers and ranchers, to stand for what is right, and to lead the positive change that our local communities and state need. I invite you to join your county farm bureau and get involved. Our state's farmers and ranchers need your support. It's a fight we can't afford to lose because once it's lost, it can never be replaced.
Tastes like strawberries on a summer evening, and it sounds just like a song. I want more berries and that summer feeling. It's so wonderful and warm. Breathe me in, breathe me out. I don't know if I could ever go without. I'm just thinking out loud. I don't know if I could.
We use our voice and our passion to speak up for Florida agriculture. We speak up for farmlands and green space, for food and water quality, for wildlife and conservation, and for rules and regulations that protect our rural communities.
I am the voice of education.
I'm the voice of feeding America.
I am the voice of conservation.
I am the voice of advocacy.
I am the voice of future generations.
I am the voice of leadership.
I am the voice of service.
We are the voice of agriculture.
It's pretty crazy. Who would have imagined that a virus would have caused the chaos that we're in right now? From school cancellations to social distancing to quarantine, The spring and into the summer of 2020 has turned out to be quite different than what we all imagined.
Yes, these past few months have been different, but differences aren't always bad. In 1928, 33 farm boys met in Kansas City with the purpose to make a difference. They created a youth agricultural organization to connect vocational education around the nation. Purpose united them.
During the height of the Second World War, tens of thousands of FFA members were serving in our armed forces. So the National FFA Convention became a streamlined process for only delegates and award winners.
Wow, this organization has come so far. In 1969, one delegate of the 42nd National FFA Convention made the motion to strike out the word male from the National FFA Constitution. That motion was only carried by a 2-vote margin to allow female membership into the FFA. Their purpose was to create an organization welcoming of everyone, regardless of gender.
In 1971, the National FFA Alumni was founded for those who wished to support our organization. Their purpose was to support and promote FFA activities and agriculture education on a local, state, and national level.
I always look forward to getting to go to the Carib every summer for state convention. Even though the way that we're gathering this summer is a little different, it doesn't change the fact that the purpose of that gathering is to celebrate.
The FFA has granted so many opportunities to its members, but that doesn't exempt us from hard times. Just as E.M. Tiffany said in the Creed, we know the joys and discomforts of agricultural life and hold an inborn fondness for those associations which, even in hours of discouragement, we cannot deny. This year, a virus may have changed our method, but it could not change our mission.
Extraordinary times call for extraordinary people to do extraordinary things. This year hasn't looked the way we anticipated. Our year was transformed by a pandemic that has truly changed the world. While we couldn't meet in person to do the things we love in the same way, the perseverance of every single member in the state of Florida allowed us to work diligently to continue to make an impact. Time and time again, we answer the question, FFA members, why are we here? But we often don't think deeply about our purpose in coming together. Things are different this year. We aren't in Orlando together. Our methods are unconventional, but here we are, with the same purpose and drive that we always have as members of this great organization. The method may have changed, but the mission has not. This is just the beginning.
FFA members and guests, please help welcome your 2019-2020 Florida FFA State Officer Team. Your Area 1 State Vice President from the Alpha FFA Chapter, Braden Rapper. Your Area 2 State Vice President from the Trenton FFA Chapter, Lauren Roberts. Your Area 3 State Vice President from the Vanguard FFA Chapter, Taylor Burns. Your Area 4 State Vice President from the Kathleen FFA Chapter, Maddie Dvorak. Your Area 5 State Vice President from the Durant FFA Chapter, Cole Hansen. Area 6 State Vice President. From the Avon Park FFA Chapter, Courtney Ball. Your State FFA Secretary. From the Strawberry Crest FFA Chapter, Sydney Swartman. And your State FFA President from the Strawberry Crest FFA Chapter, J.B. Prescott.
Lauren, I can't believe it's finally here. We are already at the 2020 Florida FFA celebration. I love a good celebration.
I know, I can't believe it. My favorite types of celebrations are festivals. From strawberries to fiddler crabs, people can always find a reason to share their excitement with others. My personal favorite is my hometown festival, the Newberry Watermelon Festival. From the all-you-can-eat watermelon to the patriotism, it truly is the best kickoff event to the summertime. I vividly remember eating everything from snow cones to grilled watermelons, and my mother telling me to wipe off my sticky hands afterwards. While it may not be the most glamorous celebration, it is a great way for the growers and the community to come together to be proud of this year's harvest.
Well, that sounds fun and all, and I do love a good celebration. Coming from Plant City, Florida, home of the Florida Strawberry Festival, I'm actually more of an ugly sweater kind of guy.
Ugly sweater parties? I mean, that just doesn't sound like much of a celebration.
Oh, let me tell you about a time that ugly sweaters and celebrating combined. During my senior year in high school, we had a spirit week, and one of those days was an ugly sweater day. Now, this just so happened to fall on my birthday. Perfect scenario, right? Well, my good friend and your state secretary had a brilliant idea that changed this day from an ordinary birthday into a celebration. She printed out life-size pictures of my face and ironed them onto Walmart sweaters, giving them to around 10 of my friends. Yes, making me the ugly sweater. Now, while that may seem super insulting, I thought it was hilarious, and it elevated an ordinary day into something worth celebrating.
Wow, that definitely sounds interesting. I think I'm just going to stick to the watermelon festivals. However, I think that we can both agree that we have an exciting week to celebrate. What's better than celebrating the accomplishments of our FFA members, advisors, and those who support us?
Florida FFA, we have so much to come for you this week. Whether you're anxiously awaiting the results of a leadership development event, attending a virtual workshop, being recognized for your success in a career development event or proficiency award area, receiving your state FFA degree, or even running for state office, our purpose here is clear. We are here to celebrate.
In this, the first general session of the 2020 Florida FFA celebration, we are going to be focusing on our purpose by awarding the coveted FFA Blue and Gold Awards, recognizing our past FFA state officer teams, and we'll be hearing the inspirational words from your state secretary, Miss Sydney Swartzman, as she delivers her retiring address. So let's get excited to kick off this, the first general session of the Florida FFA celebration.
Tonight we are honored to have with us President John Hoblick to bring greetings on behalf of our session sponsor, the Florida Farm Bureau Federation.
Hello everyone, I'm John Hoblick, President of the Florida Farm Bureau Federation. I'm delighted to greet you at this opening session of the new virtual 2020 annual convention of the Florida FFA. Your convention organizers have arranged a full agenda for you with informative sessions, competitive events, and awards presentations. FFA is guided by a purpose of growing the next generation of leaders who will change this world. It appears on the Florida FFA website, and more importantly, it energizes all that you do as members. Good leadership provided by young people like you in the next few decades will be critical for the future of our state and our nation. Although you may not be able to see it clearly at times, such as during this COVID-19 crisis, you possess the immense power of influence to help make Florida a better place and provide your families and other families with a better quality of life. Your adaptability and your willingness to solve problems are already present. Consider what you've accomplished in the past 3 months. You have learned to use remote connections so that you can continue your education. You have shifted to an electronic platform so that you can work, join in teamwork with your peers, and produce worthwhile products without losing either the quality or your work ethic. You have also continued to pursue your career goals. This convention is an example of what a dedicated leadership can accomplish. Yes, it has required time, attention, and effort, but the result will benefit you and everyone around you. What you have done and what you will be doing is much like what our farm families do, regardless of your eventual choice of a career. Our farmers and ranchers meet challenges. They are adaptable. They solve problems with positive, valuable solutions, and they are amazingly successful. As part of Florida Farm Bureau's support for the future, agriculture and leadership development, we support several programs for young people. With a 2-year schedule of experiences, our Young Farmer and Rancher program gives participants opportunity to hone their skills in policy advocacy, media relations, public speaking, business management, and community service leadership. One of the universal comments from past YFNR members is the lobbying trips that they take to our state and national capitals were the premier experiences for them. The YFNR program also builds great personal contacts and friendships that last a lifetime. You can apply and become a member as soon as you reach your 18th birthday. I urge you to consider this program. I am a graduate, and I can tell you that it will well return the investment of your time. You can also choose to join a Collegiate Farm Bureau program. Students in these groups have also taken advantage of an array of leadership and personal development activities at their respective schools. The original group was founded in our state at the University of Florida campus, but we have established collegiate chapters at Warner University and FAMU as well. I also want to remind you that in August, you will be able to join a competition designed especially to enhance your skills at effective team collaboration and group solving problems. The Florida Farm Bureau Federation FFA discussion meet is planned for August, so keep an eye out for the registration information later this summer. The discussion meet challenges contestants to use their critical thinking and cooperative spirit in conversations that offer solutions for problems that face everyone in agriculture. Some of our most effective Farm Bureau leaders and public officials have participated in discussion meets. The discussion meet is a unique event that will introduce you to other young people who will be your peers and colleagues in the future. Florida Farm Bureau has always supported training and education as basic elements for career development. We recognize the talents of young people are necessary to solve future problems. That's what keeps American agriculture advancing and America's food supply secure. 9 years ago, we formed Agriculture Education Services and Technology to certify the knowledge level and skills of individuals as a way for agriculture leaders to identify talented young people entering the workforce. In just a minute, you will see a video promoting AEST certifications. As students enrolled in agriculture education courses, you have the opportunity to earn credentials before you even start college or enter the workforce. I encourage you to take advantage of this, to become AEST certified, to set yourself apart from the rest, and to increase the opportunities available to you in agriculture and agriculture-related enterprises. I challenge you to celebrate personal achievements every day. Lift up others as you lift up yourselves. Continue to learn new skills. Share your love for agriculture as you move forward with your lives. Never forget that agriculture is the foundation of our existence and the basis of our society. And never forget that you have the ability to change yourself and change your world. I congratulate you upon this 92nd Florida FFA Annual Convention and send you my hope for the best for you in the years ahead. Thank you.
JP, you know that I love a good quote, and recently I stumbled upon one and I thought it'd be fitting for this evening. It said, "Life is short, so always wear your party pants." I hope all of you have on your party pants this evening because there are infinite things to get excited about during this, our virtual celebration, and we are making history. Not only is the 2020 Florida FFA celebration making history as the first virtual celebration, but our members and chapters have also made history this past year.
That's right, Lauren. As a culmination of a year of hard work for each of you, you've all helped Florida FFA make history once again. Tonight, we are proud to share with you that with all of your hard work, we have reached a 92-year membership high. Students, staff, administration, advisors, and supporters. All of those who helped Florida FFA be a success should be proud of what we've accomplished together. This membership increase makes Florida the 4th largest state association, with a total of 29,772 members. Mia Hamm once said, "Celebrate what you've accomplished, but raise the bar a little higher each time you succeed." Florida FFA, I am so excited to see where we go from here. So let's keep this party rolling and continue to grow our membership. Last year, a different team highlighted the same purpose that we embody here tonight. They were in turn led by someone who holds their purpose true to their heart. Her charisma, confidence, and solo dance moves truly left a mark on our association last year. It is my distinct honor to welcome back your 2018-2019 Florida FFA State President, Ms. Artha Jonasson, as she delivers our celebration invocation.
Please join me in the attitude of prayer or reflection that makes you most comfortable. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for allowing us to gather virtually this evening for the 2020 Florida FFA celebration. In light of these tumultuous conditions of our world, thank you for giving us all the strength to overcome what has felt like insurmountable obstacles in the past few months. I pray for the members, staff, and stakeholders of the Florida FFA Association who have worked diligently to ensure that the progress of our organization didn't stop when the rest of the world did. I pray for the 8 special young people who served this organization with unmatched class and grace this year as they navigated uncharted waters. I also pray for the 8 special young people who will soon embark on the same remarkable journey. I want to lift our country's agriculturalists up in prayer. Our farmers, ranchers, processors, distributors, and all others who work in our food supply chain, as their work has been greatly affected by the COVID-19 global pandemic. Their tenacity is what fuels our country, and Lord, I thank you for their arduous labor and ask that you protect their hands as they continue to feed the world. I also ask that you protect our healthcare workers who risk their own safety each and every day as they selflessly serve their communities. Finally, Lord, I pray for peace in our country. As you are a just God, I pray that those in our country who are seeking true justice find it through you and through your creation. I pray for an end to racial discrimination in the U.S. and across the world. I pray that we can unite as one and that our country can grow stronger as a result of the challenges we face. I pray that we find solace through your grace, that we all become a better reflection of your love, and that we can continue to do your work here on earth. I ask all of this in your name. Amen.
I read a quote once that said, "If you can't find your purpose, find your passion, because your passion will lead you directly into your purpose." These next individuals that we are going to recognize tonight have certainly allowed their passion to lead them into a purpose-driven life. They epitomize what it means to believe in the future of agriculture and believe that investing in today's youth is the best way to secure that future.
Whether it was through the role of event superintendent, conference sponsor, or someone simply with unwavering support in the Blue Jacket dream, our association is made better because of this next group of individuals. The Florida FFA Association is honored to present the 2020 coveted Blue and Gold Awards to those who are leaving infinite impacts on our association.
This year's Blue and Gold honorees are Miss Kelsey Burns and Dr. Sandra Tenbrook. For the last several years, Miss Kelsey Burns has coordinated the American Agricultural Experience for our state officers through her position as the Consumer Outreach Director at the Iowa Pork Producers Association. Not only is Kelsey extremely knowledgeable about agriculture, but she has a passion for helping others learn more about the industry. Under her guidance, the state officers experienced agriculture in a way that most will never have the opportunity to do. And for those experiences, we are forever grateful. For her dedication to helping us grow young leaders, we are honored to present Miss Burns with the coveted Blue and Gold Award. Dr. Sandra Tenbrook. Dr. Tenbrook has been a supporter of Florida FFA for many years. Throughout her 35-year career in the Animal Science program at the University of Florida, Dr. Tenbrook has worked hard to provide direction for our equine career development events. With her help, Florida FFA established the first middle school career development event of its kind. And the high school horse CDE has experienced continued growth. Not only does Dr. Tenbrook care deeply about our programs, she also cares deeply about the success of our students and teachers. In describing our partnership, she recently said, "I think what we do really matters, and I believe that it is appreciated by our stakeholders." For these reasons, and many more, we thank Dr. Tenbrook for her service, and we are honored to present her with the Florida FFA Blue and Gold Award.
Lauren, there are 3 things I can think of that make for the perfect party. Mid-2000s pop punk music, a smoke machine, and board games.
I have to disagree. I have never heard of anyone having a board game at a party. To me, the perfect celebration would have to consist of tons of balloons, great food, and the perfect photo backdrop, but that's besides the point. I think we would both agree that the real importance is the purpose of the party.
Each year, a team of individuals makes it their purpose to serve our state association with all of their hearts. Tonight, we have the honor to look back at those teams who have used their purpose to lead selflessly.
Something that I would like to share with those who are wearing the blue jacket today and those that are hoping to wear it in the future is to take every opportunity and run with it, whether that be trying out for a new career development event, competing in a new contest area, or simply making a new friend at a leadership conference. Take every single opportunity and never miss a chance to do something new. I use everything that I learned in the FFA in both my agricultural classes and the time that I served as a state FFA officer in what is a career that I absolutely love to this day.
Favorite related FFA memory at state convention? That's an easy one for me to answer. While I have had many outstanding opportunities and experiences and wonderful things, met so many wonderful people, made so many wonderful lifetime friends, there's nothing like being a father. And I have to say, without trying to get emotional, there's nothing that can compare to sitting in that audience and watching your son get elected to a state FFA office and watching him go through those experiences that you've gotten to go through and to become a member of that family, the family of past state FFA officers. You FFA members, you'll understand one day. You can ask your parents. There's nothing like the love for a child, and that would easily be my favorite, my most outstanding agricultural or FFA related experience in FFA at a convention would be sitting in that audience watching my son pursue a dream, to follow in my footsteps, and to have that bond that he and I will have besides being father and son, to have that bond for the rest of our lives as 2 past state FFA officers.
Treasure this time. The experiences that you have right now as an FFA member will truly impact you for the rest of your life. Take advantage of every opportunity. Don't be afraid, and make the best of being a part of the most amazing student organization in the world.
I think the most valuable lesson, as I look back on my state office year, was I learned to listen. Listening was a key to being sure that I was doing the right chapter program. Sometimes chapters had things in them and they did different programs and stuff. So while I went in with maybe a plan, it was important for me to listen to what was going on at that chapter and be able to be sure that the program that I was giving, or the speech that I was given, or the talk, or just visiting with them, applied to what was going on in their chapter and in their life and their world. So that's a valuable lesson that I know that I've tried to carry on through everything in life, is to always be sure to listen, to be sure that way you're there for someone when they need it.
Have you ever heard someone say you can't choose your family? Well, the same is true for your officer team. You can't choose your teammates, whether it's your state officer team or your chapter officer team. And you know what, guys? That is a total blessing, because you start out your officer year as complete strangers with your team. People coming from all different backgrounds, all different dynamics in their home. And you end your year with a fierce love for people who are so different from you. Because when you spend almost 24 hours a day, almost 7 days a week with people, and you lead with people, and you make decisions with people, and you have to walk through rough times with people, you end up on the other side as family. And so being a state officer opened my eyes and hearts my eyes and heart towards others, and showed me how to love people that are different from me. And that has helped me ever since.
For me, my favorite memory was probably the opportunity to meet new people and make new friends, and the influence of a lot of those people. And it really didn't matter if it were the Commissioner of Agriculture or if it were Jerry Clower in the elevator at the National FFA Convention, or the 9th grade member that I had the opportunity to meet. Those are the memories that I cherish the most. And having the opportunity to get to know these 8 people were probably very significant for me in my life, because they're lifelong friends. To this day, we have a group chat text that when something significant happens in our lives, we share that with one another. And having a network of people that you can share things that are significant to you with is so very important. I am very thankful for the opportunity that I had to get to know some of the ag teachers across the state, and some of those were so influential in my life, like Mr. Robert Philpott, and my co-teachers, David Harris, Scott Register, and Tom Williams. And it has been memories that have lasted a lifetime, but also memories, and the opportunity to make memories for a lifetime has also been a very significant part of my time as a state FFA officer.
I think my favorite memory from being a state officer was that all the years of being an FFA, I had seen these amazing different chapter names on the backs of jackets. And then when I became a state officer, I actually got to go to those chapters and meet these folks. And so we would have a peanut boil with the Alpha FFA chapter, or we would go down to Miami and see their incredible sheep SAE production. We'd meet an FFA member in Bronson who had caladiums as their project, and now they were up for Star Discovery. So just seeing those names on the jackets come to life was a really amazing experience.
The future of agriculture and my belief system in that has varied through different seasons of my life. So growing up as a youth, I believed in the future of agriculture because at the time, that's what I believed is what would sustain our world. And I still do, absolutely, but that belief has evolved through college, through early career entry roles, and then even now into our entrepreneurial journeys. We have a daughter now, and so the future of agriculture is the legacy that we're leaving behind for her and her generation. And it's also a belief system that really grounds me in my faith, because I think agriculture is one of the most noble callings on this world, because we as an industry are here to care for and protect and serve and provide for the rest of humanity, and without it we wouldn't be in existence. So it's a little deeper to home for me, having a child now who is growing up in this industry and who is growing up learning how to care for other people as well.
My favorite memories as a state officer are of chapter programs. Getting the opportunity to travel and visit schools and meet with middle and high school students and teach them about the importance of leadership within agricultural education setting is special. So chapter programs for me have always been a great opportunity not only to see how each chapter is different, but to see how each individual FFA member and agricultural education student is different as well. So during this time, I was able to see the differences up close and build connections with each individual student that I encountered. So I realized how each student learns differently, and I have very distinct memories of chapter programs. So at several of my chapter programs, I would actually freestyle rap for some of the classes. I wasn't actually freestyling, I had the verses pre-written, but this was something I chose to do to share the message of premier leadership, personal growth, and career success in a way that's relatable to young people. So I would, without a doubt, say that doing chapter programs and interacting with students and FFA members with different personalities, different backgrounds, different dreams and goals, and working to leave each of them as better servant leaders as I found them is by far my favorite memory as a state officer.
Hi, I'm Priscilla, and this is Aiden, and we're here to introduce our friend, Sydney Swartman.
First and foremost, those who know Sydney will know she has the best time management skills. From always being comically late to staying up all night doing homework, she could make use of a few more hours in the day.
Sydney is very talented. Obviously, Sydney excels in many things, from FFA to karate to cosmetics. She always finds a way to ride to the top.
From spending years practicing interpretive dance, what she likes to call karate, to not giving up during our OH demo when we had to cut fruit without any knives, Sydney never gives up on a challenge. Regardless of the obstacles, Sydney always breaks through to reach any goal she has in mind. Her dedication and ambition prove to show her qualities as a leader.
Sydney is also extremely loyal. Sydney is willing to help out whenever she can, especially with me, since I always needed help with FFA contests most of the time. But thankfully, Sydney was always there to help. She always says yes to anything, from a friend to me to eating gas station tuna.
We're proud to introduce our friend Sydney Swartman, giving her a trying address entitled Bring on the Pain.
One by one, we will call for a ceasefire. One by one, we will fight for a better end. One by one, we can rewrite the headlines, standing side by side. One by one, love is building an empire. One by one, reaching out to our enemies. One by one, we will make it to the finish line. Standing side by side, ceasefire. I will be the first to say I'm far from perfect, but grace was made for those who don't deserve it. So easy to cast the first stone, much harder to search your own soul. No one ever wins.
This is a wooden board. It's an inch thick, 1 square foot in size, and made from a Florida pine tree. I have tried to punch this wooden board many times, the outcome of which usually isn't that great. I either end up in a world of hurt with a fistful of bloody knuckles or getting yelled at because I accidentally punched the fingers of the person positioning the board. Board breaking is no easy feat that leads to lots of bruises and wood chips in places you never want wood chips to be. But for some reason, this really old guy named Gishin Funakoshi, the founder of the style of karate I practice, believed that board breaking not only shows mastery of technique, but also mastery of the limits our mind places on our bodies. He was right. Our minds tell us that punching this wooden board is gonna hurt. This creates fear. And as a 13-year-old girl who practiced karate, this was one of my biggest fears. Even though I had all the right technique to be able to turn this wooden board into splinters, it seemed like my mind could only tell me one thing: this is gonna hurt. And because of that, every time I tried to punch the obstacle in front of me, my fist would stop itself just before it reached the board. Gishin Funakoshi was a wise man. He knew that in life we would have to face pain in order to grow and accomplish our goals. Thus, he made board breaking a requirement to earn the black belt rank. If you couldn't break the board, if you couldn't face the pain, then you weren't mature enough to accomplish the goal of any martial artist: wearing a black belt. Karate has put me through a lot of pain. As you may know, I'm a black belt in Shotokan Karate. I trained at Chris Walben Karate Clubs for 8 years and had the privilege of traveling around the nation and competing in the advanced black belt division. While the opportunity I had was amazing, in order to perform well in my division, I had to train rigorously. So, every other Friday night at my dojo, which is a karate training studio, we would host a 3-hour-long training session for anyone who competed. The majority of this was just practicing technique and getting punched in the face, and then for the final 30 minutes, after giving it our all for over 2 hours, we would put ourselves through some brutal conditioning. It would begin with a few rounds of jump rope that were anywhere from 3 to 10 minutes. While this may sound easy, science tells us that a 1-minute round of jump rope is the equivalent to our bodies of running a mile in 7 minutes. So that 10-minute round of jump rope we did sometimes literally felt like we were running a 10K. Then we would do hundreds of push-ups, sit-ups, and squats, and finally finish with sprints out in the parking lot. Putting myself through those exercises was painful. The lactic acid I felt in my muscles for the next few days was even more painful. But in order to accomplish our goals, we must face pain. And my goal was to win gold. I'm a biology nerd, and what's really cool about the human body is that in order to create new muscle, we first have to tear down our already existing muscle fibers so that our bodies can repair and build thicker, stronger muscle in their place. So we have to face pain, even tear ourselves down sometimes, in order to become stronger. Weirdly enough, because of this fact, I always look forward to the painful exercises we did during conditioning because I needed to become a better, stronger martial artist. While I had many instructors at my dojo, the best teacher I ever met was pain. Pain taught me to face it, and by doing so, I overcame my fear of board breaking and earned my black belt. Pain taught me to embrace it during exercises so that I could become stronger. Pain also taught me that we have a choice. We can choose to ignore our pain and give up, or we can face it and learn from it. We can hide our pain away and let it consume us, or we can share our stories and work for change. We have to choose. And from my experience, it's always better to choose to endure the pain than it is to run away from it. I like to divide pain into 2 separate categories: physical and emotional. The difference between the two is obvious. Physical pain resides in the body, while emotional pain occurs in the heart and soul. For example, when I walk into the kitchen and stub my pinky toe again on the kitchen table, I feel incredible physical pain in the foot region. But when I drive to Chick-fil-A and don't realize it's a Sunday, I feel an insatiable longing in my heart. We as FFA members are quite familiar with both types of pain. We've endured physical pain when we stayed up till 2 in the morning studying for a contest, or when we got stepped on by our show heifer, while we've experienced emotional pain when we had to say goodbye to a newfound friend at Colt Conference, or when we placed 15th out of 15 in the floriculture competition. While we may feel these 2 categories of pain in different areas, the outcome of facing both our physical and emotional pain is the same. It makes us better, stronger people.
Statistically speaking, half of us watching right now are familiar with the emotional pain of having divorced parents, myself included. While we may get double the Christmas presents, divorced kids love when our parents can't get along like our friends' parents do, being constantly dragged back and forth from house to house, and one parent always missing an important event. Growing up, I wasn't able to see my dad often, so whenever my brother and I went to visit him, it was like we were escaping to paradise. Weekends with my dad always include two things: way too much food and a plethora of action-packed films that we've seen 100 times but still love to watch. I remember one particular weekend, I drove down to see my dad alone, and it had been just like all the rest. Food, movies, and ending way too soon. After a few days with my father, it was time for me to go again. It was 10 in the morning, my suitcases were zipped, and I was about to start loading my car when I heard my dad call to me from the kitchen. "Hey, Sid, come here for a sec." So I walked into the kitchen, expecting to be given a snack and some drinks for the road, but instead was greeted by my father searching for something on his phone. Suddenly, over the kitchen speakers, the song "If You Leave Me Now" by Chicago started to play. My dad set down his phone as it began. He took my hands in his, and we began to dance around the kitchen. As we danced, he sang the words of the song to me with tears in his eyes. "If you leave me now, you'll take away the biggest part of me." I looked into my father's face, and I could see all the pain he'd felt for the past 16 years. He went from taking his giggly little 2-year-old to the beach every single day and being right by her side, to seeing her maybe once or twice a month, growing up without him. He missed the first time she rode a bike, her first FFA competition, her first karate class. He wasn't there for the happy moments or the sad moments or the times when she needed her father there, but he was 4 hours away. Dancing with my father in the kitchen, I saw his pain. I felt his regret. And it hurt him so much that he was begging me not to leave that day. But I had to go. It took all my willpower not to start crying, because if I did, I wouldn't have left. So instead, I swayed my arms to the music and put on a smiling mask as my father finished singing the words to the song. I hugged him goodbye and quickly walked out the door, trying desperately to make it to my car before the tears started rolling down my face. My father could have chosen to give up. He had plenty of other things to worry about with his business and moving away. It would have been so much easier for him not to care about his little girl. When I was in elementary school, I was so confused as to why my parents weren't together like the other mommies and daddies. The people around me began to notice as well, because I wasn't afraid to voice opinions and ask questions that adults didn't like answering. I remember asking my karate instructor, Mr. Giles, one day why it was hard for me to swallow and why my chest felt tight every time I thought about my father. He was probably trying to explain the pain and sorrow I felt in a way that a 10-year-old could understand, but ended up creating the perfect analogy. He said, "Sydney, what you're feeling is called sorrow. It's similar to the pain we feel when we get punched during sparring, but this pain we feel right there." He then went on to say that the pain in our hearts is like a candle. When something bad happens or we get upset, we light the candle on fire. Now with a candle, you always have to keep your eye on the flame, because if you turn your back to it, it might grow into a large fire without you knowing. If the flame stays small, all you have to do is blow it out. But if the fire grows too large, you may never be able to put out that flame. So Sydney, it's okay to cry and be sad. Just make sure the fire doesn't grow so large that it burns your heart. Pretty amazing analogy, right? Terrifying for a 10-year-old, though. I literally thought my heart was going to catch on fire. As I grew older, I would remember this analogy and expand upon it. I realized that pain is something that demands to be faced, and if we choose to ignore it, then it will perpetuate and grow out of hand, swallowing the things we love, our relationships, and our mentality. As Mr. Giles said, it's a lot easier to blow out a small flame of pain than it is to put out a house fire of it. For me, and many of those watching right now, the flames of our parents' divorce have already grown out of control, and we've been caught in the crossfire of them. Unlike many, I was lucky. And as I grew older, my father began to develop a relationship with me, and the massive, uncontrollable flame that I thought had consumed me began to grow smaller and smaller, but I would never be able to put out that fire. The damage was already done. While I am able to control this flame a little bit more, it can still grow out of hand. In those moments, I like to remind myself that it's just biology. The heart is a muscle too, and sometimes we have to burn it and tear it down in order for it to build itself back up stronger again. We wouldn't be able to feel pain if we weren't meant to. It has a purpose in our lives, and the more painful an experience is, the more beautiful we will become once we reach the other side of it. Our generation is surrounded by the flames of broken marriages and abusive relationships, but like a phoenix, we will rise from the ashes and make sure the next generation never has to experience the pain we feel. That is the purpose of this pain, to make it stop with us, because we all deserve to find long-lasting love and lives without heartbreak. This is just one example of the many pains we've had to face. We've been beaten down by teachers who care more about assignments than our mental state. We've lost friends who turn to pills and the bottle instead of to help. We've been disowned because of our sexuality and gender. There are little fires everywhere. I am tired of watching my world burn around me. I'm choosing to face the pain in my life so I no longer have to see the people I love get hurt. But before we can help others with the flames in their life, we have to face the pain in our own, learn from it, and share it. Yes, I was afraid to face this wooden board, but instead of letting it turn into firewood, I chose to break it. Yes, that hurt, but it was necessary for me to accomplish my goals. The pain from my parents' divorce will forever be a part of my life, but I've chosen to learn from it. And because of that, I know to always answer a phone call, to work hard at my relationships, and to love big. I wasn't able to overcome all these things by myself. I had incredible instructors like Miss Mayo and Mr. Giles, and 4 amazing friends, JP, Aiden, Anna, and Priscilla, who supported me and taught me how to push through the pain. Just like them, we need to lean on each other and support those hurting instead of tearing each other down. We need to encourage people to share their stories, take action, and fight for change so that we can stop pain, whatever that pain may be, where it stands. We need to help our peers choose to learn from their pain instead of running away from it. There are 30,000 members in this association, 30,000 individuals, each with their own fires burning around them. And this year, I've been so privileged to have seen some of those flames and meet many outstanding FFA members, chapters, and advisors. I've cried with the ag advisor whose administration took away her land lab. I've hugged the young man from SPOTO FFA who shared his regrets with me. I've listened to the girls at middle school conference who believed they were worthless. Thank you for sharing your stories with me. Thank you for opening your hearts and being brave. Florida FFA, our members are on fire, but let's work together to put out those flames. We're Generation Z, the last in the alphabet. This ends with us. Let's choose to face our pain today to create a better tomorrow. Let's bring the pain on. Who's joining me?
Sydney, you truly are the crazy aunt of our team. If any of us are ever in need of some lip balm, some karate skills, or just a plain old good time, we can always count on you. You truly are the queen of the Chaco Stand, and we love your willingness to make everyone you interact with feel loved and heard. Thank you for being a shoulder to cry on, a source of laughter on a sad day, and an all-around authentic servant leader. While our year may be coming to an end, the laughs, the memories, and the friendships are forever. Thank you for showing us how one person's passions have infinite impacts on each of us. We've grown as one together. While our time didn't last forever, this year is something we will always remember. Love Cole, Maddie, JP, Braden, Lauren, Taylor, and Courtney. Florida FFA, your state secretary, Miss Sydney Swartman.
Tonight, we saw a snapshot of a celebration like no other, and we have so much more to come. We have the opportunity to show the world that here in Florida FFA, we have a purpose that transcends circumstance.
Progression that has altered history.
A passion for doing what is right.
An impact that can change lives.
Potential to change the world. Dedication that inspires.
Commitment that is unwavering.
And an influence that is greater than any one of us.
While our convention hall may look a little different this year, our purpose is the same. We have infinite reasons to celebrate our success here at the 2020 Florida FFA celebration, but we only have 1 week. So what does that mean, Lauren?
That means that we're going to have to get excited and tune in to seeing the accomplishments of our FFA members, chapters, and those who support us. So make sure you tune in and get excited to see what's being offered.
Florida FFA, our purpose is determined by our drive, not by our circumstance. And it's members like you that make Florida FFA as exceptional as it truly is.
While our time may be limited, our passions and potentials are endless. Our organization provides infinite opportunities in leadership growth and success. The difference that we make today can have lasting impacts on tomorrow. One association, 29,000 members, and infinite ways to change the world.